This is Adam Greuel from the High Hawks, and you're listening to The Sound, 89.5 KQAL.
Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling.
If we can just find a highway, we might even find a way to make it home.
Tonight on The Sound, we have a great collection of songs from the self-titled debut album by bluegrass supergroup The High Hawks. The High Hawks consist of 6 different members who all met while touring across the country, and their latest album perfectly exemplifies each individual's unique attributes that help the group work together in harmony. Adam Greuel joined me in the studio to talk about their debut album, his thoughts on creating and performing live music, and when they plan to start playing again. I'm Brylee Harris with Adam Greuel tonight on The Sound.
Midnights will be black.
That was Singing a Mountain Song by the High Hawks. Their music is brought to us by Vince Herman, Tim Carbone, Adam Greuel, Chad Staley, Brian Adams, Will Trask, and tonight we have Adam here to talk to us. So how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so the High Hawks' latest album release titled The High Hawks is now available on all digital platforms. And now that the album is finished, how would you describe the process of completing an entire album?
Well, it's always a unique process. In this band, we kind of all came from various other bands that we've been touring the country in for years. So we've made other albums. But, in these sessions, it was unique because, everybody who is in the band comes in with experience and a lot of experience. I'm the youngest in the band at 30. And, the oldest fella is 63. And so there's this wide age group that brings in a lot of different life experiences, both present and past. And so, there's a lot of sort of minds into one, recording project.
Right.
And in this instance, with the High Hawks, we're really stoked with what came out of it because it's kind of got that eclectic feel. It's a kind of a new sound for all of us. So it was a joy to make the album for sure.
Yeah, no, and I loved it. It was a great album. It sounded really good. So then next from the album, we're going to play Fly High.
I'm flying in this plane back into your arms again, and my eyes are sad and cloudy. teardrops fall like rain. As I look down past my wing, flying home to you again. In the clouds I see your picture, the engine sings your name. I'm flying high up in the sky, but my heart keeps looking for you all around, down on the ground. On every hill, in every house, I see your face. In every window down below, I'm thinking as I'm flying here about the arguments we had, about the times we slammed our doors, said goodbye, goodbye. I walked away a dozen times, drove away 100 more, but all of the trains and all of the buses take me back here to adore. I'm flying high up in the sky, but my heart keeps looking for you all around, down on the ground. On every hill, in every house, I see your face. In every window down below.
All right, that was Fly High by the High Hawks. And considering that you are all from other bands, how did you all meet and start working on music together?
Well, we were out on the road with our various other projects, and at festivals and shows, we started crossing paths and kind of realized we were kindred spirits, out of an interest to spend more time together because of our friendship. We figured, hey, let's start a project. At the beginning of it all, we didn't know what the band would sound like. We all got together at Vince Herman's place up in the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and we sat down with some songs that we figured we'd like to play with everybody, and the next thing we knew, we had created our own kind of Americana rock and roll sound. It's cool to see how it organically kind of forms,
Yeah, totally. Kind of going off of that then, what would you say excites you about being able to perform together at different events?
Oh man, well, it's so fresh for us all that there's a lot of joy in the band. We just got off a Midwest run, and it was just genuinely so fun. A lot of smiling on stage, and when the music is so fresh like it is now, we're still discovering where it can kind of transport us,
Yeah.
musically. Like we joke that we're in the transportation business, in that when people go to shows, they're really looking for some kind of experience, to listen to these songs and kind of be taken where you need to be taken in your life context in a moment, and that's a really beautiful thing, especially when it's as fresh as things are right now with us.
Yeah, definitely. So then, I guess, would you say that you kind of prefer to perform live more, or do you also just enjoy being in the studio, like recording your albums?
Well, they both have their joys, and they both have their components that are fun.
Yeah.
The control in the studio, being able to really focus on a sound that you want to make is really cool and fun and exhilarating. And then the live show, of course, is riveting because, you know, the interaction with the crowd. You know, as musicians, we feed off the crowd, and the, you know, the crowd feeds off of us. It's kind of that circle of energy, and you're able to kind of explore music, you know, in that live setting and see where it takes you. Because, you know, as opposed to the recording studio where, you know, you listen back to it, usually in live performance, you play the song and it's kind of gone into the abyss, and there's something kind of free about that too, you know?
Right, yeah. Well, I have more questions, but we're going to play another song from the album, and this one is titled Talk About That.
Gonna put it on the table, ain't holding nothing back. We're all headed for trouble, I won't talk about that. There's a new kind of chaos going here every day, and the hands behind the curtains, they keep getting away with intimidation, degradation. Tell me who owns the facts? Algorithms promoted schism. I won't talk about that. I've had enough of the screens throwing us off track. We need a new kind of dream, not a planet to frack. Earth singing the blues, we need to help her back. Big changes are due. I won't talk about that. Not division, we need vision. Something the leaders lack. We need to make some big decisions. I won't talk about that.
That was Talk About That from the High Hawks' new album. So back into the questions, what do you find often inspires your style of music?
Oh, nature,
Okay.
you know, and stories of strangers that I meet or friends that I meet on the road.
Okay.
You know, life experiences. I think that's the same for a lot of the bands or guys in the High Hawks. Is, you know, we go out and we're all pretty friendly people, and you end up meeting a bunch of different people and hearing their stories about, you know, where they came from and what they experienced along the way, and funny stories and sad stories. And,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes the way that we tell those stories is more so through song than it is, you know, conversation.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I'm sure it helps, like, having so many different members that are all from different places, too. You get a lot of different stories.
That's right. That's right. And we share them with one another, and there comes the tune.
Yeah. So how would you personally describe the music that you typically create?
Kind of, you know, a mixture, like, you know, I call it American music, and what I mean by that is kind of a melting pot of influences, you know, ranging from blues to country to, you know, polka music influences me. But
Yeah.
but really, you know, our sound as the High Hawks is kind of like a country rock and roll Americana type feel.
Sure.
But we're certainly influenced by, man, a lot of wide-ranging stuff, from, like, you know, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young to the Grateful Dead to, you know, Norm Dombrowski and the Happy Notes polka band back home.
A little bit of everything.
For sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, this next song that we're going to play from the album is called When the Dust Settles Down.
Santo, and I'm looking at some photos of you, thinking about an old song that found its way back too soon. Surfing on a big wave about about to crash into view. Racing for the impact that brings me right back to you. When the dust settles down and the years roll into one, I'll go running right for the door, like I've done many times before, like I've done many times before. Second line playing and I'm strumming on this old guitar, traveling like a gypsy living underneath the stars, talking to some people that I love on the telephone, looking for the highway that leads me back to my home. When the dust settles down and the years roll into one, I'll go running right for the door, like I've done many times before, like I've done many times before.
That was When the Dust Settles Down from the High Hawks' new album. So kind of this next question, just going off of your album, how did you come up with the name The High Hawks for your album and for the band? Does it have like any sort of meaning?
There's like some mythology around the High Hawk, and that's certainly part of it, but I think when we first got together, we realized there was always kind of hawks hanging around. We were like, that's interesting. I think it's what it's come to mean for me is that, when we get together, we all feel a little better, and the music we make as individuals is better because we're all together. There's an elevated feeling. So maybe that's where the High Hawk comes from.
Yeah, very cool. I love that. And then either from your new album or just kind of in general, what would you say is your favorite song to perform live?
I really like a song called Heroes and Highways, just because it's got a heavy edge to it, and then it gets kind of jammy and allows for some musical exploration in the middle. But it really changes night to night, It's kind of what you're feeling in the moment, what's going on in your life, and why you relate to a song, less or more on any given occasion.
Yeah. Do you kind of just like go off what the crowd's feeling too, or is it more just based on how you're feeling?
No, there's definitely that interaction, I think as humans, we're always feeding off, one another's energy, and in music, that's probably my favorite part is the way that the crowd's energy dances with the band, and sometimes it makes for those like magical nights where you can't quite put your finger on why something was special, but it was. Yeah,
very cool. So I have a few more questions, but first we're going to play another song from the High Hawks album titled Blue Earth.
Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth, with so much time to cry. Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth, with so much time to cry. Tears for the children, and tears for the poor, tears for the homeless knocking at your door, tears of terror and jealousy and rage, tears for the refugees living in a cage. Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth there's so much time to cry. Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth there's so much time to cry. But Jesus said we will always be poor, and there'll always be suffering, sorrow and war. And you read it in the newspapers every day, and the tears keep falling down like rain. Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth there's so much time to cry. Tell me why, oh why, on this blue earth there's so much time to cry.
So that was Blue Earth from the High Hawks' new album. And now that more events and shows are starting to kind of resurface, like after the year and a half that we've had, are you guys excited to start performing live again? And do you have any events lined up for the near future?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out kind of constantly. But we've got, some shows in Colorado, a show in Alaska, and then hopefully coming up we're going to do some shows in the Midwest again. And, it's difficult because, we've got 6 members in 6 different bands. It's kind of for lack of a better term, it's a super group. So yeah. Sometimes scheduling can be a challenging endeavor.
Yeah.
But we certainly love playing together, and we're trying to get out and do it as much as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think we're going to end the show with this next song that's titled Home Is. But again, all of these songs are from their latest album titled The High Hawks, which can be found on all digital platforms. And I think that's all we have tonight. So thank you so much, Adam, for taking the time to talk with me tonight.
Of course. It was lovely to do so. Thank you for having me.
Where my home is, my home is in the heart. Just as soon as I find my place, I just as soon depart. My heart is where my home is, but it's different every night. If I don't love you tomorrow, and lane, just a slide down a snowy bluff, but planted firmly in the sand. Head is where my feet go, and there is no other way. I may be gone tomorrow, but I'm right here today. My eyes see what the world looks like, and my brain says yes or no. Believe it when you see it. It's the only way to know. My eyes see what the world looks like, though they can be untrue. May it look like one way today, but tomorrow be something new.
Rolling.
Thanks again to Adam Greuel for joining us tonight on The Sound. More of the High Hawks music can be found on all digital platforms, and more information about the band can be found on their Facebook page, The High Hawks. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Brylee Harris, and we've just heard from Adam Greuel tonight on The Sound.
Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.